Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Sayyida Reena Abdul and I'm a foundation level student in Rahan School. So today I'm going to ask some questions from Maya and she have to give me answer on the topic of sorry. So hi Maya, how are you?
I'm doing well, thank you. Ready when
So
you are?
Maya, so today I'm going to ask you some questions on the topic of sorry and you have to give me answers.
Sounds good. I'm ready for your first question.
Okay. So my first question to you is what does the word sorry really mean?
Sorry is basically a way we acknowledge that we've done something wrong or that something bad happened that we feel responsible for. It's about
Okay.
expressing regret, apologizing for harming someone, or showing sympathy for someone's misfortune. The original meaning comes from feeling sorrow for someone else's troubles.
Why do people apologize?
People apologize for a few different reasons. Like, often it's to, repair a relationship that's been damaged by something they did. It shows they take responsibility and want to make amends. Then
Okay.
sometimes it's just politeness, like saying sorry if someone bumps into you. And other times people apologize to show empathy, like when something bad happens to someone else.
Okay, now tell me, when is saying sorry always enough?
Not always. Saying sorry is often a good first step, but it doesn't always fix things on its own. Depending on what happened, you might also need to take action to make things right. Fix whatever you broke, help someone out, or change your behavior. Actions
Okay.
matter.
So now tell me, what makes an apology sincere?
It's a good question. What makes an apology really feel genuine? I think it comes down to a few things. First, truly acknowledging what you did wrong instead of making excuses. Then, showing genuine remorse. You actually feel bad about hurting someone. Finally, making clear you'll try not to repeat the mistake.
Okay. So now tell me, can actions be more powerful than words in apology?
Absolutely. Actions almost always speak louder than words. You can say sorry 100 times, but if your behavior doesn't change, the apology feels pretty empty. Showing you've learned and changed your behavior, that's what really repairs damage and rebuilds trust.
Okay. Now tell me, why do some people find it hard to say sorry?
That's a complex one. Sometimes it's about pride. People have a hard time admitting they were wrong. Other times it's about defensiveness or fear of facing consequences. And sometimes it's just a habit. They haven't really learned how to genuinely apologize in a healthy way.
What emotions are involved in apologizing?
So many. There's remorse, obviously, that feeling of genuine regret for causing harm. Then there's empathy for the person you hurt. You also have humility, recognizing you weren't perfect in that moment, and vulnerability, because admitting you're wrong can be. Got it. I'm ready.
Okay, Maya, so I'm going to ask you my
Okay.
next question
I see
is apologizing a sign of weakness or strength?
you. Definitely strength, not weakness. It takes way more courage to admit when you're wrong and to truly apologize than to keep defending yourself or make excuses. It shows emotional maturity and a willingness to take responsibility for your actions.
Do children understand the meaning of apology the same way as adults?
Not even close. Mm, Young children apologize as more of a social formality first. They might say sorry because they know it's what they're supposed to say, not because they truly understand they hurt someone or did something wrong. The understanding of meaning and empathy grows over time.
How early in life do we learn to apologize?
Mm. Kids start saying sorry really early, as young as 2 or 3 years old. But that's different from actually feeling it. They're imitating what they hear parents and other adults say.
Yeah, of
Real
course.
emotional understanding. Taking responsibility for their actions, that develops more around ages 4 and 5.
Okay, so now tell me, how do we feel guilt after hurting someone?
That's a tough one. Guilt isn't a simple emotion. It's a mix of regret for hurting someone, feeling bad about your actions, and also kind of self-criticalness, thinking you should have known better or acted differently. It can make you want to fix things, but also sometimes keep you stuck in what happened.
Okay, so now tell me, how does apologizing help reduce guilt?
I think you're saying, how does an apology help reduce guilt? If
Yeah, yeah,
so,
absolutely.
apologies work because they acknowledge the harm done, but also allow for forgiveness from both others and yourself. That acknowledgement and forgiveness eases that painful guilt and clears a path toward moving forward.
Okay, very nice answer. So now tell me, can an apology heal emotional pain?
Yes, but it's complicated. A
What
genuine apology can
What happens when
a
someone
genuine
refuses to apologize?
when someone refuses to apologize,
Yeah, yeah.
it can leave the injured person feeling invalidated and frustrated. The situation remains unresolved, trust can be further damaged, and it might even escalate the conflict. It can be really hard to move forward without some form of acknowledgement or remorse.
Why do apologies feel fake?
Feel fake when they're done without sincerity. That might mean they're just saying the word without true remorse or offering vague excuses instead of taking responsibility. They often focus on how they feel about the apology itself, like saving face or avoiding consequences, rather than how the other person feels about being harmed.
How does pride affect apologies?
It's pride can be a huge barrier to apologizing. A lot of people see apologizing as admitting weakness or failure. They might be more afraid of looking bad than making things right with the other person. Pride makes it much harder to swallow your ego and admit you did something wrong.
What is the role of empathy in saying sorry?
Empathy is huge in saying sorry. Well, to really apologize, you have to understand not just what you did wrong, but how it affected the other person. You have to step into their shoes, see things from their perspective, and genuinely feel their hurt. Without that empathy, it just sounds empty.
Can over apologizing be a problem?
Yes, definitely. Constantly saying sorry can actually undermine your apology. It might come across as insincere or desperate. It can also erode your confidence and make you seem less assertive. People tend to trust someone who takes responsibility once without overdoing it.
Okay, so now tell me, how does apology impact mental health?
Apologies can impact mental health in a few ways. Making a sincere apology can actually help relieve your own guilt and reduce anxiety. For the person receiving the apology, it can heal emotional wounds, rebuild trust, and reduce feelings of stress or anger. But apologies that feel half hearted or are manipulative can actually make things worse.
Okay, so now tell me, why do we expect apologies from others?
Well, it's pretty natural to want an apology when we've been hurt. It validates our feelings. It shows that the other person understands they did something wrong. and that we matter enough for them to acknowledge it. Plus, a
Yeah.
good apology can give us closure and start the healing process. Makes us feel seen and respected.
Can you tell me, do different cultures apologize differently?
Absolutely. Cultural norms heavily influence apologies. Some cultures are very direct. They expect a straightforward expression of remorse and detailed explanation. Others are more indirect, using nonverbal cues or expressions of sympathy instead of direct, I'm sorry. What's polite in one culture can seem insincere or too casual in another.
Is apologizing more common in some societies than others?
Yes, certain societies place much higher importance on apologies than others. Some cultures view apologizing as fundamental to maintaining social harmony and are far more formal about it. Other societies are more pragmatic. If it's a minor thing, apologizing feels a swing up.
How does religion influence apology?
It's a bit of a shift from our topic of sorry, but okay. Many religions actually have teachings about caring for nature and living in harmony with the earth. Some view it as a sacred duty to protect creation, while others emphasize stewardship, taking care of the world as caretakers rather than exploiters. Religious beliefs can heavily influence environmental ethics.
How does society judge apologizes?
Society judges apologies based on a few factors. One, does it seem genuine? Are they taking full responsibility or making excuses? What's their body language like when they're apologizing? And importantly, do their actions back up their words after they've said sorry? People
Okay,
can
so
often spot a phony apology.
now tell me,
Yes?
why do celebrities apologize publicly?
Okay, public apologies from celebrities tend to be pretty strategic. Often it's about damage control, trying to repair their image after causing some public controversy. They want to
Okay.
show they're aware of what they did wrong. They just regret it and are willing to take responsibility in front of everyone watching. But sometimes it really does come from a sincere place too.
How do families teach apology?
Families teach apologizing in a bunch of different ways. Some model apologizing themselves, showing kids how to take responsibility. Others make kids say, I'm sorry, but might miss the chance to teach real empathy behind it. A good approach involves helping kids understand how their actions impacted others and encouraging them to make amends.
Is apologizing in public always necessary?
It's definitely not. Private apologies are often more effective, especially for one on one situations. Public apologies tend to be better suited for when you've caused harm to a wider group of people or when the offense happened publicly to begin with. But
Do
for
boys and
both,
girls are do boys
they're
and
more
girls
often best.
apologize differently?
There's some research that suggests boys and girls may be socialized to apologize differently. Boys are sometimes discouraged from showing weakness or vulnerability, which might make it harder to say sorry openly. Girls are sometimes encouraged to be more relational and caretaking, so they might apologize more frequently. But it's really about individual personalities more than gender.
Okay. So now tell me, what is true apology morally?
A truly moral apology goes beyond just words. It means taking complete ownership of what you did wrong, showing genuine empathy for the hurt you caused, offering to make amends if possible, and demonstrating through your actions that you've learned from the experience.
Okay, Maya. So my second last question from you: does everyone deserves an apology?
Mhm. That's a really good question. I think that everyone who's been truly harmed by another person deserves some form of acknowledgement that they were hurt, whether that's a formal apology or another type of validation depends on the circumstances. But I believe everyone deserves to be acknowledged when they've been deeply affected.
Okay, so now tell me, this is my last question from you. Can apologies fix all mistakes?
Unfortunately, no. Apologies can't fix every mistake. Sometimes the damage is too deep or the trust is broken beyond repair. But even when mistakes can't be fully fixed, a sincere apology can still be incredibly valuable. It can offer some closure for the person who was hurt and help everyone move forward.
Okay, Maya, thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching my this session from of Maya on the topic of sorry. I hope you guys enjoyed it, liked it. Thank you so much for watching. Allah Hafiz, Pakistan Zindabad.